This is Kevin Collins with Home Theater Forum at CEDIA, Day 3. We're at the JVC booth, and we're here with Rod Sterling, one of the chief engineers for the JVC products.
Hello, Kevin. Good to meet you.
One of the exciting things that you guys announced was the new RS65 projector here, and there was some new technologies that you guys talked about that I think our readers would be really interested in kind of understanding a little bit of the mechanics that were around it. Obviously one of the first things was the 4K support through your what was being called eShift technology.
Yes.
Can you explain how that works a little bit?
Well, eShift allows us to take an existing panel and multiplex or give you the ability to move the image over to show basically higher resolution in spatially within the time domain. So the flow of how the signal basically works is we come in the case of the 65 here, with a 2K signal. There's really not a good 4K input available right now. So we take say a Blu-ray input, 1920, 1080, then we process on that initial signal and up-res that using some smart algorithms to get you to 3840, 2160. As you know, as you go through a daisy chain of events, there's always some round off and roll off throughout the image. So as we process, we can definitely boost some of the mid frequencies that are typically lost in a 2D display. So applying this algorithm, we create a 3840, 2160 memory map, or an image map, how you want to call it, of a 4K display from the 2K. Then in the output stage, we can output that to our 2K panel, and then using the eShift, we can actually shift the image down and then over. This is a liquid crystal device that is modulated 120 hertz. And I like to think of it as like a segmented frame approach they did in digital cinema early on. And that's where you, in the same time frame, because we have at 60 hertz this 4K image created, so we do a subsample of 2K of the 4K at 1/20th of the second and 120th second of the other in the same time, so there's no motion. We grab the other 2K of that image and display it on the screen. And the effect of this device, it actually moves the image and gives us a depixelization effect. So the pixels effectively disappear because they cover up the overlying grid pattern underneath. Even with a high aperture ratio, you still get some pixelization if you're up on the screen. So this really cleans that up. It's not a new idea, but at least it's a side effect of this. Plus, because we were able to upscale and improve some of the images at the 4K, you can see more information on the screen than you could with running just 2K information.
I know when I was in the room over there with the RS65, maybe it was you that was, I guess, turning eShift on and off.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see the pixel structure, and then the pixel structure disappeared, and it kind of looked like I was looking at like a frosted window kind of. I couldn't see the structure. This looked like there was a mini moire, not moire pattern, but just this like a different kind of texture to it. So it went from pixels to.
Yeah, if you actually get way up on the screen and
close.
let's say freeze an image and look, you still can see the individual pixel structure in there. It's very, very fine.
It just kind of went like this.
Yeah.
Because I saw that and it was like kind of, and it had that look. I didn't notice that I was losing any resolution. It's just that pixel structure.
Yeah.
Kind of disappeared on there. And
yeah, just kind of like.
That's the whole purpose of the eShift.
Right. It's not a focus. You're not defocusing, because that's another way of depixelizing. Is defocus. You're actually, overlaying on top of each other. Now it's still the same size as the 2K pixel, but you're putting information up twice in two places, and then your eye pulls that together. We developed this with NHK, and in the 2012 Olympics, they'll be using our 8K projector with eShift to show around the world different scenes, and they'll be actually shooting the Olympics in 8K.
Wow.
And so this will be interesting to show, and this is the early introduction of that eShift technology.
One of the other things that I was personally excited about, I've had many different RS series projectors in my theater. You know, one of my favorite aspects of the JVCs has always been the black levels.
Yes.
And the inky black levels. It's always been my favorite part. But the other side, depending on what projector I got, would be the convergence errors that would come on there. And I never could, depending on which one I got, you know, I could or couldn't shift it. And you know, on this they said they'd gone from 1/8 of a pixel to 1/16 of a pixel. How is that working for me to really get the alignment up, or is there something else that's going on that's, you know?
Well, we're actually processing the video ahead of time and doing an image distortion or a warping map, and then putting that back out at a pixel per pixel. So that allows us to remap the video on top and take out the phase. We're not the first ones to do this. It's not a new technology, but we have implemented it this year, and it really does make a difference. That almost, in most cases on the typical projector shift, we've almost doubled the resolution by doing that, because you don't have the convergence errors.
Now, is that being able to do that? Is that separate from eShift?
Totally separate. We
So
have
you
that
get
on our
eShift
2K
off.
models and 4K models. Yeah,
Okay.
one's done in the processor for the video. The eShift has a separate processor upscaler.
So adjusting this, I'm going to get my really tight convergence.
Yes.
And I'm not going to be affecting any of the resolution of the image.
Correct.
Oh, that's what I wasn't quite clear on the press release how that was. I know talking to you, I'd get it make sense to me on what was going on there. The other thing they talked about was that it's a lot brighter, and it sounded like there was two things that they said. I don't know what the new lumen output is for it compared to the RS60, but in the press conference they said it was brighter. They said, and I thought they said two reasons. One is improved light output, and then second was that the active shutter glasses stayed open longer because you guys have done something around crosstalk that allowed the glasses to stay open longer, thus more light coming to the eyes.
Okay. You're talking about two things.
Okay.
Brightness works on both of those.
Right.
One, the base unit, yes, is brighter in 2D and 3D both. It's brighter in overall because we've redesigned the dichroics. Last year's model, we went for a very wide color gamut. And as you know, as you go wider in gamut, the bandwidth of the light narrows up and you get less light output. So we've retuned the complete dichroic system in this. We can still get to Adobe RGB, or, you know, if you want to get out to that wide gamut, but we're not giving up as much of the light as we used to. So when we calibrate the older model to the color space you wanted, we lost quite a bit of light. The new model's much improved over that. I haven't measured one, so I can't give you an honest number on that. And I'm not sure I've seen the spec numbers. But then the other thing you bring out is the 3D. We have improved the glasses. There are another 10-15% more transmission through them. We've redesigned the 3D algorithm that actually drives the left and right eye. And the shutters themselves have a better offstate. They're just a higher performance shutter or glass, you know, in the glasses. So the 3D is brighter for two reasons. The overall system efficiency has been improved by the dichroic tuning, and then you have a better drive circuit in glasses. So actually three reasons in 3D and one in 2D. So that should help an end user.
Well, that's great. That's because that's one of the, you know, one of the things that you'd have with 3D is you have to get a different screen and that kind of stuff if you didn't have to, because of some of the issues around light loss. It brings up an interesting question, though, on you said you have, it sounded like there were some special things you had with the glasses in terms of how, A, you reduced maybe the tint of them, and then B, you changed how fast they would respond on opening the shutters?
Well, the shutter, I'm not quite sure that's the speed of the shutter. The efficiency of the polarizers in the shutter that the liquid crystal basically turns on and off, so you get an effect of black and white. The efficiency of the linear element in there has improved, so your higher transmission there. And the black level, the turnoff, is also improved on
So
it.
it's tighter.
Yeah, I'm not sure it has to do with the speed.
Okay.
Now, the drive electronics in the projector have changed to narrow that up. I think that's probably more the speed improvement than the glasses. Now, both pairs of glasses will work on the new one. You'll probably see some improvement with our old glasses on the new projector. But
So it sounds like it might be, the first time I'm kind of hearing this is that to get the peak performance, that I probably should always buy the JVC glasses and not maybe
Oh,
some
definitely.
of these,
We've
not some of the
looked-
third-party glasses that go across multiple
there's a
platforms.
few other things in there we don't tell everybody about that we do with our OEM manufacturer on the glasses. So, yeah, you'll see it, an honest 10-15% difference in efficiency with off-the-street glasses versus our own glasses.
That's good to know.
They
because-
will work. I mean, if you got a big party and you got to grab some glasses, run down to Best Buy and get them, but you're not all going to see the same image.
Do you know how much the glasses are?
I'm an engineer. I don't
Yeah,
talk dollars.
I know. I was just curious.
They don't allow me to talk anything with a dollar sign in front of it.
But that's great information to know. Well, those were the some of the key things that I just wanted to kind of get some more clarification on. I'm going to be anxiously waiting to get a review unit and put it through its paces. I mean,
I'll say there's one more thing that you didn't touch on
Oh.
that's been an excitement for the show. Those are some of the three big ones. The other one is this year we've introduced on the whole lineup this adjustable lens memory. So we can reposition the screen in 16:9, 4:3, 2:3:5. It will do a screen offset. I mean, it'll do the offset on the screen because you're typically mounted in the ceiling. So if you just zoom in and out, the offset's going to move up and down. So basically, it does a top, bottom, left, right adjustment. It does a telephoto or wide adjustment and a focus adjustment, and that's stored in memory. And so you can toggle between those. And we'll have the remote command so you can put it on your control and just hit a button.
You're right. I remember seeing that in the presentation, and I forgot about that. But when it came, I was like, I wish my projectors had that.
Depending on the headache the customers have had in the past, which one of these four items have been the big issue, but those are the key ones that everybody's been talking about this.
Okay. Was there any other key features that I missed out on?
Well, the price didn't go up.
We
gave you all these goodies
That's
at
right.
no extra charge.
We did all the posting on that. That you get it's the same price with that extra stuff, which is it is a great
So it's a
value
great
for the
value.
customer. Yeah.
So they did allow me to say something that you can get into a 4K box now for under $8,000 bucks.
So on the RS65, one of the big features was that you guys increased the contrast ratio to 120,001. So that's a pretty big step up from what the RS60 was, and it's pretty much still the leading indicator for any kind of projection, particularly not having to use a dynamic iris. So the starry scenes of the sky is always what I always think of when I think of JVC. Is there any other features that you guys have that you want to talk about?
Well, one thing, just one more comment on the contrast ratio. There's a lot of numbers floating around out there. I mean, you can turn the light bulb off, measure black, turn it on. There's all kinds of games out there. I almost like to think of it as dynamic range because it is the total available swing of the signal. You can go from black to white, and it's measurable. It's not a number that just comes out by doing something else. So it is a good number. We've since we started coming out with the RS series, every year you need more contrast, so we didn't want to let you down. We keep improving the optics, and the device itself has some improvements in it. So it's all incremental improvements, but yeah, it is definitely a noticeable improvement over last year. Some other points that have been brought out is we've had the prior model with the 3D. We had some issues, with the DirecTV, some of the set boxes were using some not mandatory HD 1.4A signal levels, like in your 720 and some of the 24p and that. The new model accepts all these other sources, so now we're able to accommodate some of the signal sources we weren't able to do last year. We also have added memory so that if you do want to use an anamorphic lens, I know we talked about a way of not needing to do one, but if you want to do an anamorphic, we have memory now for both anamorphic or panamorphic lens types. And there's memory now that you can do it in 3D. So you can have your anamorphic 3D if you want to do a scope 3D image without anything, problems there, where before you'd have to get an external
Right.
processor. We have improved some of our color management. We've increased the range and sensitivity of that. That was something that was a little weak. If you had some strange light in the room, you didn't quite have enough range in some of the color management to get all the colors you wanted. Now you can.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.